In the small town of Blackwood, a chilling howl echoed through the night. The townspeople, gripped by fear, whispered tales of a fearsome werewolf prowling the woods, its hunger for blood insatiable. A group of curious teenagers ventured into the woods, drawn by the mystery of the werewolf. Unbeknownst to them, the woods were cursed, and the ancient spirits that dwelled within watched their every move. One of the teenagers, Alex, was bitten by the werewolf during their ill-fated expedition. As the full moon rose, Alex underwent a horrifying transformation, becoming a creature of the night. A renowned werewolf hunter, Elias Blackwood, arrived in town, sensing the presence of the supernatural. With his steely determination and vast knowledge, he vowed to rid the town of the werewolf menace. Elias delved into the town's history and uncovered dark secrets. He learned of an ancient pact made with a vengeful spirit, binding the town to the curse of the werewolf. The pact had to be broken to free the town from its relentless grip. On the night of the blood moon, the werewolf's power reached its peak. It went on a rampage, terrorizing the town and sowing chaos. Elias, armed with silver bullets and ancient incantations, prepared for the ultimate battle. Elias confronted the werewolf in a fierce battle under the eerie glow of the blood moon. The clash between man and beast echoed through the woods, shaking the very foundations of the cursed land. In a climactic moment, Elias managed to wound the werewolf, forcing it to retreat. As the creature fled, it reverted to its human form, revealing the shocking truth. It was someone from the town, someone they had known all along. The werewolf's true identity, Sarah, a beloved member of the community, stunned the townspeople. She confessed to the pact her ancestors had made, and her unwillingness to harm her friends had driven her to the edge of madness. Sarah revealed the origins of the curse, an ancient curse cast upon a vengeful sorcerer by a wronged lover. The curse had passed down through generations, binding the town and its people to the bloodthirsty werewolf. Elias, Sarah, and a group of courageous townspeople embarked on a quest to break the curse. Guided by Sarah's knowledge and Elias's expertise, they journeyed to the sorcerer's tomb, determined to find a way to lift the curse once and for all. In the depths of the tomb, the group discovered a relic, a silver amulet infused with ancient magic. It was the key to breaking the curse, but using it required a sacrifice. Sarah, burdened by guilt, volunteered, ready to pay any price for her family and town's redemption. The group conducted a ritual under the light of the full moon, channeling the power of the amulet. As Sarah recited the incantation, a blinding light enveloped her. The curse's grip on the town began to wane, and the werewolf's howls faded into the distance. With the curse lifted, Blackwood began to heal. Crops flourished, and laughter returned to the streets. The townspeople, once divided by fear, found solace in their shared triumph over the supernatural. Despite the town's renewal, haunting memories lingered. Sarah, now free from the curse, faced the judgmental stares of her fellow townspeople. The weight of her actions weighed heavily on her, and she retreated into solitude, haunted by the past. Over time, the townspeople realized the depth of Sarah's sacrifice. Compassion replaced judgment, and forgiveness bridged the gap between them. Sarah, once an outcast, found acceptance among her peers. Blackwood embraced an era of peace and prosperity. The town's unity became its strength, and the scars of the past began to fade. Sarah, now a respected member of the community, dedicated herself to protecting the town from any supernatural threat. With each passing day, the fear of the werewolf diminished. The townspeople moved forward, their lives no longer overshadowed by the supernatural. The legend of the werewolf became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers of revenge and the importance of forgiveness. A mysterious visitor arrived in Blackwood, bringing news of a new threat. A pack of vengeful werewolves, seeking retribution for the curse's removal. The town, still recovering from its previous ordeal, faced an even greater challenge. Sarah, Elias, and a group of brave individuals formed an alliance to confront the vengeful werewolves. Together, they trained, honing their skills and knowledge to protect their town from the impending danger. On the night of the full moon, the vengeful werewolves attacked Blackwood, their hunger for revenge insatiable. The town's defenders fought valiantly, silver weapons glinting in the moonlight. The battle was fierce, the outcome uncertain. During the chaos of battle, a member of the alliance revealed their true allegiance. They had secretly conspired with the vengeful werewolves, seeking power and revenge against the town. Betrayal tore through the defenders' ranks, weakening their resistance. In a moment of selflessness, Sarah sacrificed herself to save the town. She faced the leader of the vengeful werewolves, a former ally turned enemy, and used the last of her strength to banish the werewolf, breaking the pack's unity. Blackwood mourned the loss of Sarah, their savior and protector. The town, though scared by grief, found solace in Sarah's sacrifice. Her legacy became a beacon of hope, inspiring the town to stand strong against any supernatural threat. Sarah's bravery became a legend, passed down through generations. Children listened wide-eyed as their parents recounted her story, instilling in them the importance of courage and unity. The town's newfound strength became its greatest defense. Years passed, and Blackwood prospered. However, an unseen threat loomed on the horizon. Dark forces, drawn by the town's supernatural history, began to stir, plotting to unleash a terror unlike any Blackwood had ever faced. Elias, long retired from hunting supernatural creatures, sensed the impending danger. He returned to Blackwood, his intuition guiding him back to the town he had once saved. With a heavy heart, he realized that his battle was far from over. A cryptic prophecy emerged, foretelling of a great darkness descending upon Blackwood. The townspeople, now seasoned by their past ordeals, deciphered the prophecy's riddles, preparing for the battle that awaited them. The ancient spirits that had cursed Blackwood centuries ago began to stir. Their hunger for chaos and revenge awakened, fueling the dark forces that threatened to engulf the town. The townspeople sensed the encroaching danger, their unity becoming their greatest strength once more. The dark forces conducted a midnight ritual, channeling the spirit's power to unleash a wave of supernatural creatures upon Blackwood. Creatures of nightmares roamed the streets, their presence striking fear into the hearts of the townspeople. Elias, the townspeople, and a new generation of defenders made a desperate stand against the supernatural onslaught. The battle was fierce, shadows clashing against the light. Elias's knowledge and experience became invaluable, guiding the defenders in their fight for survival. In the midst of battle, long-buried secrets resurfaced. The dark forces were led by a descendant of the vengeful sorcerer who had cursed Blackwood. The town's past sins had come back to haunt them, and redemption seemed impossible in the face of such overwhelming darkness. The townspeople, undeterred by their dark past, united once more. They embraced the truth of their history, acknowledging their mistakes and vowing to protect their town at any cost. The power of their unity became a beacon of hope, pushing back the encroaching darkness. In a moment of profound redemption, the descendant of the vengeful sorcerer sacrificed themselves to break the curse that fueled the dark forces. Their act of selflessness weakened the supernatural creatures, turning the tide of the battle in favor of the defenders. Elias and the defenders faced the leader of the dark forces in a final epic battle. The town square became a battleground, illuminated by the flickering light of street lamps. Every strike, every incantation, echoed with the town's determination to survive. With a collective effort, the defenders banished the leader of the dark forces, breaking the spirit's hold on Blackwood. The supernatural creatures dissipated into the night, their roars fading into echoes. The town was free, but the cost of their victory weighed heavily on their hearts. Blackwood mourned the fallen heroes who had given their lives to protect the town. The sacrifices made by the defenders became a solemn reminder of the price of freedom. The townspeople gathered to honor their bravery, their tears mingling with the rain that fell from the somber sky. In the aftermath of the battle, Blackwood began to rebuild. The scars left by the supernatural onslaught served as a testament to the town's resilience. The townspeople, though grieving, worked together to restore their home, their unity stronger than ever before. Elias, recognizing the town's vulnerability to supernatural threats, established a group of vigilant guardians. These defenders, trained in the arts of supernatural combat, stood as protectors, ensuring that Blackwood would never fall prey to darkness again. Generations passed, and the tale of Blackwood's bravery became a cherished legend. Parents told their children the story, instilling in them the importance of courage and unity. The town's legacy became a beacon of hope, inspiring others in their own battles against the supernatural. Years of peace followed, but an eerie silence settled over Blackwood. The town's guardians sensed a disturbance in the supernatural realm, a subtle shift that hinted at an impending danger. The townspeople, though unaware of the threat, felt a growing sense of unease. Ancient artifacts, imbued with dark magic, began to surface in Blackwood. Unbeknownst to the townspeople, these artifacts were keys to a malevolent force's resurrection. The guardians, guided by their intuition, embarked on a mission to uncover the artifacts' secrets. The malevolent force, a vengeful spirit seeking revenge, orchestrated an unholy ritual using the artifacts. The ritual's dark energy permeated the town, twisting reality and unleashing supernatural horrors upon Blackwood. The guardians, realizing the gravity of the situation, made the ultimate sacrifice. They infused their spirits into powerful talismans, each imbued with a unique ability to combat the supernatural. Their sacrifice granted the townspeople a fighting chance against the malevolent force. Blackwood became a battlefield once more. The malevolent force, now possessing a physical form, clashed with the townspeople and the guardian spirits. The battle of wills tested the strength of their resolve and the power of the talismans. In the midst of battle, a trapped spirit, bound to the malevolent force, found redemption. Through a selfless act, the spirit broke free from its torment, weakening the malevolent force's hold. Its newfound freedom became a source of strength for the townspeople. With the malevolent force weakened, the townspeople launched a final assault. The talismans, guided by the spirits of the guardians, resonated with a blinding light, overwhelming the malevolent force. In a deafening roar, the force was banished, leaving Blackwood in peace once more. Blackwood commemorated the guardians' sacrifice, honoring their bravery and unwavering dedication. A memorial, adorned with the guardians' names, stood as a reminder of their valor. The townspeople gathered to pay their respects, their gratitude boundless. The spirits of the guardians, freed from their talismans, chose to remain as eternal protectors of Blackwood. Their presence became a comforting watch over the town, ensuring that any future threats would be met with swift and decisive action. And so, Blackwood thrived under the watchful eyes of the eternal guardians. The town, though scared by its supernatural battles, emerged stronger and more united. The legacy of courage, sacrifice, and unity lived on, inspiring generations to come, and ensuring that the town would always stand resilient against the forces of darkness. Deep within the heart of Blackwood Forest, an ancient and foreboding realm shrouded in mystery, a malevolent presence lurked. Legends whispered among the locals spoke of a monstrous creature that emerged from the shadows, terrorizing anyone who dared to venture into its domain. A group of thrill-seekers, drawn by the allure of the unknown, decided to explore the depths of Blackwood Forest, setting the stage for a nightmarish encounter with the monstrous entity that dwelled within. The forest, dense with towering trees and tangled undergrowth, cast a veil of darkness that seemed to swallow the feeble light of the moon. The group of friends, armed with flashlights and a sense of trepidation, ventured deeper into the heart of Blackwood, their footsteps muffled by the thick layer of fallen leaves. As the group delved further into the forest's depths, the air grew heavy with an unnatural stillness. Shadows clung to the trees like silent specters, and the wind whispered tales of ancient malevolence that lingered among the gnarled branches. The friends, fueled by a mixture of excitement and fear, pressed on into the heart of the enigmatic wilderness. A sudden chill enveloped the forest, and the friends felt an unseen gaze upon them. The atmosphere seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly energy, and the flashlight beams flickered as if the very air resisted their intrusion into the ancient realm. Unbeknownst to them, the monstrous entity that haunted Blackwood Forest stirred in the shadows, its eyes gleaming with an insatiable hunger. As the friends reached a clearing, the moonlight struggled to penetrate the thick canopy above. The air became charged with an eerie silence, broken only by the rustling of leaves and distant whispers that seemed to echo through the tangled labyrinth of trees. Suddenly, the forest erupted in a cacophony of unsettling sounds. Distant howls, guttural growls, and the ominous creaking of ancient branches. The friends exchanged uneasy glances, realizing that the legends of Blackwood Forest were not mere tales to be dismissed. The monstrous entity, once hidden in the shadows, was awakening. A dense fog rolled in, further obscuring the friends' vision. The flashlight beams cut through the mist, revealing distorted shadows that seemed to dance on the periphery of their perception. Unease settled in the group as they became acutely aware that they were not alone in the heart of Blackwood Forest. As the friends stumbled through the fog-laden forest, a primal instinct urged them to turn back. But an inexplicable force, a dark curiosity, propelled them forward into the heart of the unknown. The monstrous entity, now fully awakened, watched their every move from the depths of the shadows. A guttural growl echoed through the trees, freezing the friends in their tracks. The monstrous entity, a grotesque silhouette in the darkness, revealed itself with eyes that burned like embers in the night. The forest seemed to recoil in fear as the creature stepped into the feeble glow of the flashlights, revealing its nightmarish form. The monstrous entity, a grotesque amalgamation of twisted limbs and gnashing teeth, stood tall and imposing. Its eyes, filled with a hunger that transcended the natural world, locked onto the friends. Panic set in as the group realized they were face to face with a creature born from the nightmares that haunted Blackwood Forest. In a frenzy, the friends attempted to flee, their footsteps echoing through the haunted woods. But the monstrous entity moved with an unnatural speed, its form flickering in and out of the shadows as if the very darkness itself had come to life. The forest, now a labyrinth of terror, seemed to conspire with the creature against the intruders. The friends, disoriented and breathless, stumbled into an ancient, dilapidated structure hidden within the heart of the forest. The air inside was thick with the scent of decay, and the walls bore the marks of countless struggles between the monstrous entity and those who had sought refuge within its crumbling embrace. As the friends huddled within the decaying structure, the monstrous entity circled outside, its growls echoing through the darkness. The walls seemed to absorb the creature's malevolence, carrying whispers of the past and the countless souls that had fallen victim to the forest's monstrous inhabitant. In the flickering light of their flashlights, the friends discovered faded journal entries scattered throughout the structure, tales of encounters with the monstrous entity, warnings of its insatiable appetite for fear, and the desperate attempts of those who had sought sanctuary within the forest's haunted depths. The friends, now gripped by a sense of impending doom, realized that they were entwined in the same nightmarish narrative. The monstrous entity, having toyed with its prey, launched a relentless assault on the decaying structure. The walls groaned under the force of its malevolent presence, and the friends, trapped within, felt the air grow thick with the suffocating weight of fear. The friends, desperate for an escape, discovered a hidden passage within the structure that led to a subterranean chamber. As they descended into the bowels of Blackwood Forest, the air became suffused with an oppressive darkness that seemed to pulse with the heartbeat of the monstrous entity. In the subterranean chamber, the friends found themselves surrounded by ancient symbols etched into the walls. The flickering light of their flashlights revealed a grotesque mural depicting the monstrous entity, its form shifting and contorting with an otherworldly malevolence. The chamber seemed to resonate with a supernatural energy that bound the creature to the very fabric of Blackwood Forest. As the friends delved deeper into the chamber, the symbols on the walls seemed to come alive with an ethereal glow. Whispers echoed through the subterranean space, telling tales of an ancient pact that bound the monstrous entity to the forest, an unholy agreement forged in the shadows of a time long forgotten. The friends, now entangled in the web of Blackwood Forest's haunted history, realized that their encounter with the monstrous entity was not a random twist of fate. They were pawns in a supernatural game that unfolded beneath the twisted branches and within the heart of the ancient realm. The symbols on the walls began to resonate with an otherworldly energy, and the chamber seemed to come alive with an unseen force. The friends, guided by an inexplicable compulsion, traced the symbols with trembling fingers, their connection to the forest's malevolent inhabitant deepening with every passing moment. A sudden surge of power coursed through the chamber, connecting the friends to the monstrous entity in a symbiotic dance. The forest, now a sentient entity itself, watched as the boundaries between the living and the supernatural blurred, creating a conduit through which the monstrous entity could feed on the fear of the intruders. As the friends became vessels for the monstrous entity's insatiable appetite for fear, the chamber resonated with a deafening roar. Shadows seemed to detach from the walls, taking on corporeal forms that swirled around the group, feeding on the terror that emanated from their very souls. In the midst of the supernatural maelstrom, the friends saw glimpses of the monstrous entity's past, a tortured existence bound to Blackwood Forest, a creature born from the collective fears of those who had crossed its path, and a malevolence that transcended the boundaries of the natural world. The forest, now alive with spectral energy, bore witness to the unholy communion between the friends and the monstrous entity. The very fabric of Blackwood seemed to warp and contort, creating a nightmarish tableau that reflected the eternal struggle between the living and the supernatural. As the friends teetered on the brink of madness, the monstrous entity absorbed their fear like a ravenous beast. The chamber, now suffused with an otherworldly glow, resonated with the echoes of centuries of torment and the insatiable hunger that fueled the creature's existence. The friends, their minds on the verge of unraveling, found themselves back in the heart of Blackwood Forest. The monstrous entity, now sated, retreated into the shadows, leaving the group disoriented and broken. The forest, once a realm of mystery and allure, now stood as a testament to the darkness that lurked within its ancient depths. As the friends stumbled out of Blackwood Forest, their encounter with the monstrous entity etched into their very souls, they realized the thin line that separated the living from the supernatural. The forest, now silent and foreboding, seemed to exhale a chilling sigh, as if the very essence of Blackwood reveled in the fear it had harvested. News of the friends' harrowing experience spread through the town that bordered Blackwood Forest. Locals, once dismissive of the legends, now spoke in hushed tones of the malevolent entity that dwelled within the ancient realm. Blackwood, forever changed by the encounter, stood as a reminder that some secrets were best left undisturbed. In the following nights, a lone wanderer arrived on the outskirts of Blackwood Forest, drawn by the tales of the monstrous entity that haunted its depths. Unaware of the friends' ordeal, they ventured into the ancient realm with a sense of curiosity and trepidation, their flashlight cutting through the oppressive darkness. As the wanderer stepped into Blackwood Forest, the air seemed to thicken with an unseen tension. The trees, twisted and contorted, cast elongated shadows that danced with an otherworldly grace. The forest, now a silent witness to the eternal struggle between the living and the monstrous entity, awaited the next chapter of its haunting tale. And so, Blackwood Forest stood as a realm where shadows whispered tales of an ancient malevolence that lurked within its depths. The monstrous entity, now sated by the fear of those who dared to venture into its domain, watched over the forest with eyes that burned like embers in the night. The friends, forever changed by their encounter, became cautionary figures in the town's folklore, their tale a chilling reminder that some monsters were not bound by the pages of legend, but lurked in the shadows, waiting for those who dared to defy the boundary between the living and the supernatural. On moonlit nights, as the wind whispered through the twisted branches of Blackwood Forest, the tales of the monstrous entity echoed through the haunted realm. The forest, now a repository of ancient malevolence, awaited the next chapter in its chilling narrative, drawing those who sought to unravel the mysteries that lurked within its foreboding depths. The town, forever marked by the friends' harrowing ordeal, stood as a sentinel on the edge of Blackwood Forest. Locals, now wary of the ancient realm's malevolent inhabitant, spoke in hushed tones about the delicate balance between the living and the supernatural. Blackwood, a realm of perpetual shadows, continued its dance with the unknown, its secrets woven into the very fabric of the haunted forest. As the seasons changed and the years rolled by, Blackwood Forest remained a place of mystery and dread. The monstrous entity, having absorbed the fear of countless wanderers, slumbered in the shadows, its eyes gleaming with an insatiable hunger that transcended the ages. The forest, an eternal enigma, waited for the next brave souls to venture into its haunted embrace and become entangled in the ancient struggle between the living and the monstrous entity that dwelled within its depths. In the dead of night, as the moon cast an ethereal glow on the twisted branches of Blackwood Forest, a distant growl echoed through the ancient realm. The monstrous entity, stirred by an unseen force, opened its eyes with a malevolence that transcended the natural world. The forest, a tapestry of shadows and secrets, seemed to breathe with an unholy life, anticipating the arrival of new intruders who would dare to defy the boundary between the living and the supernatural. And so, the legend of Blackwood Forest persisted, its haunted narrative woven into the very fabric of the ancient realm. The monstrous entity, now a spectral guardian of the shadows, watched over the forest with eyes that burned like embers in the night. The town, forever marked by the friends' chilling encounter, stood as a testament to the thin line that separated the living from the malevolent entities that lurked within the eternal darkness of Blackwood. On the outskirts of Blackwood Forest, a group of paranormal investigators arrived, intrigued by the tales of the monstrous entity that haunted the ancient realm. Equipped with an array of ghost hunting equipment, they ventured into the forest with a mixture of skepticism and determination, unaware of the chilling tales that awaited them within the shadows. As the paranormal investigators stepped into Blackwood Forest, the atmosphere shifted, and the air seemed to thicken with an otherworldly energy. The trees, their branches entwined like skeletal fingers, cast elongated shadows that danced with an eerie rhythm. The forest, now a stage for the supernatural, observed the newcomers with a sense of anticipation. The investigators, armed with cameras and electronic gadgets, delved into the heart of Blackwood, their flashlights cutting through the oppressive darkness. Unseen eyes followed their every move, and the subtle rustling of leaves seemed to carry whispers that warned of the malevolent entity that lurked within the shadows. In a clearing, the investigators set up their equipment, their eyes scanning the surroundings for any signs of paranormal activity. The forest, ever watchful, responded with a symphony of subtle sounds, distant footsteps, spectral whispers, and the haunting echoes of an unseen presence that sent shivers down the investigators' spines. As the investigators conducted their electronic sweeps, the ghost hunting equipment registered anomalies that defied explanation. Unseen hands seemed to manipulate the devices, and spectral signatures appeared on the infrared cameras. The forest, now a realm where the veil between the living and the supernatural thinned, revealed glimpses of the monstrous entity that dwelled within. A sudden drop in temperature signaled the entity's presence, and the investigators felt an oppressive weight settle in the air. The equipment flickered and malfunctioned, their attempts to communicate with the other side met with an unsettling silence. The forest, a conduit for the supernatural, seemed to resist the intrusion of those who sought to unravel its haunted mysteries. In the midst of their investigation, the paranormal team stumbled upon the decaying structure that had once provided refuge for the friends who encountered the monstrous entity. The walls, now adorned with faded symbols, seemed to whisper tales of ancient pacts and the delicate balance between the living and the malevolent force that haunted Blackwood Forest. As the investigators explored the subterranean chamber beneath the structure, the symbols on the walls pulsed with an otherworldly energy. Whispers echoed through the underground space, recounting the timeless struggle between the monstrous entity and those who dared to tread into the heart of its haunted realm. The investigators, now entangled in the spectral narrative of Blackwood Forest, realized the thin line that separated their world from the supernatural. The monstrous entity, stirred by their presence, watched from the shadows, its eyes gleaming with an insatiable hunger that transcended the ages. In the subterranean chamber, the investigators uncovered relics from the past, fragments of ancient rituals, faded diaries, and artifacts that hinted at the malevolent force that bound the monstrous entity to Blackwood Forest. The forest, now a repository of forgotten tales, observed as the investigators grappled with the realization that they were becoming part of the haunted narrative that echoed through the ancient realm. As the investigators sought to unlock the secrets of Blackwood Forest, the symbols on the walls flared with an otherworldly glow. The chamber resonated with an unseen force, and the forest seemed to close in around them. The monstrous entity, now fully awakened, prepared to confront those who dared to challenge the boundaries between the living and the supernatural. In a sudden surge of spectral energy, the investigators found themselves transported through time. They witnessed the struggles of those who had faced the monstrous entity in ages past, their fates entwined with the very fabric of Blackwood Forest. The forest, now a tapestry of haunting narratives, revealed the cyclical nature of the ancient struggle that played out beneath its twisted branches. The investigators, now connected to the spectral energies of Blackwood, faced the malevolent entity in a surreal confrontation that transcended the boundaries of reality. The monstrous entity, a grotesque embodiment of the forest's malevolence, stared into their souls with eyes that burned like embers in the night. As the investigators confronted the monstrous entity, a chilling realization dawned upon them. The ancient pact that bound the creature to Blackwood Forest was an unbreakable bond forged in the shadows of time. The forest, a realm of perpetual darkness, reveled in the struggle between the living and the supernatural, perpetuating the cycle of fear and malevolence. In a final crescendo of supernatural energy, the investigators were transported back to the heart of Blackwood Forest. The monstrous entity, having siphoned their fear, retreated into the shadows once more, leaving the investigators disoriented and broken. The forest, now a silent witness to the eternal struggle between the living and the malevolent entity, awaited the next chapter in its haunting tale. The town, forever marked by the investigators' harrowing experience, stood as a testament to the thin line that separated the living from the supernatural. Locals, now enlightened by the paranormal team's ordeal, spoke in hushed tones of the malevolent entity that lurked within Blackwood Forest. The ancient realm, now a repository of haunting tales, continued its dance with the unknown, inviting those who dared to venture into its depths to become entangled in the eternal struggle between the living and the monstrous entity that dwelled within its shadows. On moonlit nights, as the wind whispered through the twisted branches of Blackwood Forest, the tales of the monstrous entity echoed through the haunted realm. The forest, now a stage for the supernatural, awaited the next brave souls to venture into its haunted embrace and become entangled in the ancient struggle between the living and the malevolent entity that dwelled within its depths. As the seasons changed and the years rolled by, Blackwood Forest remained a place of mystery and dread. The monstrous entity, having absorbed the fear of countless wanderers, slumbered in the shadows, its eyes gleaming with an insatiable hunger that transcended the ages. The forest, an eternal enigma, waited for the next curious souls to tread its haunted trails and become part of the spectral dance that unfolded beneath the twisted branches and within the heart of the ancient realm.